Hi everybody, this is Karen Porter this morning. I was just going to record a little overview of your assignments rather than doing the voiceover to the PowerPoint slides that I had originally planned to put up for today. I just decided that given that Kelly was coming back with copies of everyone's last assignment, the WordPress assignment 2, I wanted to spend a few minutes going through that assignment, letting you know some of the most common places that people lost points, and just covering off with you a little bit about some of the specifics so that hopefully the comments that I put on your individual papers will make more sense to you and you will have time to kind of consider those comments over the weekend and so on and so forth. So first of all, if you're not in class on Thursday, you are not going to get your paper back until next Tuesday. So I'm hoping that a lot of you did come to class today, knowing that my intent was to get these papers back to you so that you had a few more days feedback to consider as you're working on your next WordPress assignment, and that you wouldn't be making the same mistakes as you're working toward that next assignment goal. In any case, if you aren't there, you will get the assignment back on Tuesday. If you are, you will get a sealed envelope that will have your information for you, and we'll share some notes specifically, but again, they might be a little bit cryptic without further information, which is why I wanted to just share a little bit more information than you're going to find on your sheets themselves. So at the top of your assignment, you're going to find a sheet that looks much like the one that's on your screen here. At the top, it's going to say Blog Assignment 2, have your name, and then you are going to see on that page some various scoring areas here. The biggest scoring areas, as you notice, are down here in your actual blogs. This is always going to be the case. Every one of your assignments will have many different things I'm looking for, but always your blogs are going to be worth, between the two blogs that you're putting up each time, almost 40% of your score. So blog post number 1, blog post number 2 for each assignment. In this case, it literally was blog post number 1 and number 2. So let's just start at the top here when we're looking at this first one saying site title and tagline work together. I probably just should have said site header works together. I'm going to go in right now to just osmm.net and see if I can pull this up to give you an idea. So what I'm really looking at here is I am looking at this very top portion. Granted, yours are done right now in 2014, but you will have the option when you're creating a header graphic to always overlay words on any photo that you're doing. So if your particular theme that you're going to be upgrading to in the next assignment doesn't have a place for you to enter a header graphic, here a tagline, the name of your site, anything, I would use definitely a program like PicMonkey or one of the others that we've talked about in class to go ahead and create a header graphic, because what I'm looking for here is when someone comes and looks at this very top portion of your website, the name of your website, your tagline, which may or may not have a dedicated space for it. This you will find, by the way, as you're setting up WordPress. Let me just see if I can go in here really quick. I'm going to go back to the very first settings page, the general settings page. You will see that if your site has a place for automatically your site title to go in, whatever you put in here, like if I were to put in online and social media marketing 420, that would be the site title. Whatever I put in here in the tagline down here is what is going to go in automatically wherever your theme may allow you to have your tagline be automatically populated. If you have nothing here, you're very likely not going to have anything automatically populating over on your particular theme, whether that be 2014 or anything else. So in this case, you will notice again, over here, I had nothing in the site title, so I put my site title in manually on top of the graphic that I used. And this right here is the site tagline, in this case by having that entered right here, my theme that I was using, which was 2010, will automatically populate right here at this point of the website what my tagline is. So what I am looking for here is in whatever you've got in your header graphic, however it is populated, or whether you're doing it manually, for someone to be able to glance at your graphic, glance at your site title, glance at your site tagline, and go, oh, this site is about whatever it is. In this case, someone coming would say, this is about online and social media marketing, and it says it's supporting the integrated online marketing course at UM Missoula. So, excuse me, sorry about that. In your case, if you are blogging about soccer, I would want to see something up here visually that suggests soccer, something that says something about soccer here, site title and or tagline. You're not required to use a tagline or a site title per se, but if you're not using either, it's going to be very, very difficult for people to know what your site is about. You only have at most 5 seconds for someone to come to your site and recognize, aha, this is what the site is about. So if they stumble on your site thinking it's about soccer and look at the header graphic and look at the other information and they go, I have no idea, they're going to click out of your site and you're going to have a really high bounce rate. So that's what that one is all about, and I just want to make sure that you all know what it is that I am looking for in this area here. These next couple were pretty self-explanatory. Using WordPress 4.1.1, whether that's the screen capture you showed me your WordPress version was of, whether your Google Analytics plugin was installed, you should have had a screen capture showing that. Whether your unique visitor count was captured at 10 plus. Most of you accomplished this. There were a few of you here that lost a point here, just because you gave me screen captures of things like unique page views. What I need to see is I need to see your users. We talked about in class how WordPress had changed their, or not WordPress, sorry, Google Analytics had changed their verbiage from unique visitors to just users. So what we're looking for here is users, okay? The email address added to your hosting account, most of you did this fine and gave me a screenshot. If you didn't, you lost points here. I have no idea if you set up an email account if you didn't give me a screen capture and let me know that you had done that. The sample page should have been deleted. I think everybody has done that at this point. It's not showing up on your nav bar any longer. And then 4 static pages added to your site with under construction verbiage. I meant to change these and I neglected to do so. It did not need to be these 4 changes per se. But these 4 pages were suggested pages. Most of you have a home, and about, a contact, and at least one other. If you didn't have all 4 pages, you lost some points there. If you didn't have your under construction verbiage across those pages, you may have lost a point or 2 as well there. The other thing, logical organization of navigation menu. This one here is one where I'm really looking for you to have a logical navigation menu. So typically your home page is going to be at the far left of your navigation. Typically your contact is on the far right. I'm not really so picky about that, except for those 2 things. If your navigation looks something like blog, contact, about, and home, you definitely lost all your points because that isn't a logical flow. People aren't going to be looking for your home page to be in the middle of your navigation menu. They're not going to be looking for contact information to be at the front end. Most people lost 1 point here if you lost any points, but I just wanted you to look for that. And again, you need to go in and make those corrections by moving around your menu pages under Appearance, under Menu on your sidebar dashboard. Okay, I'm going to skip these 2 for right now, being these are the big point sections, and go down to these last 3 sections. Wanted to see photos added and placed appropriately. What that means is, we talked about this in class, that almost always if you have smaller photos, and smaller photos are generally those that are sized to be 300 in width or less, you want those photos to be positioned left or right and have word wrap going around them. It looks very odd to have a smaller photo just floating in the middle of white space without anything on either side of it. So for the most part, I may have taken off one point there if you had added photos, but I saw a lot of hanging smaller photos, in a few cases some really hanging very small photos that were like, they almost looked like thumbnail photos, and they were just hanging out there in white space. Typically, the only time you want a photo hanging, meaning it's the only thing without words wrapped around it, is when that photo is enlarged. Generally speaking, those photos are going to be 500, 600 pixels wide or so, and you're going to use them more like a feature photo right within your blog post itself. So if you are posting about scenic places to go mountain biking, you might want to have larger photos going throughout your blog post, all centered, all kind of front and center, and then you've got a block of copy under it, and then you've got another large photo, then you've got a block of copy. If you're just doing lots of highlight photos, again, go look at some of the blogs on Make It Missoula for examples of this. You will see lots and lots of blog posts to where there are many photos added, one or two to each post, usually at minimum, and they're always positioned to the left or to the right with word wrap around them. That's just kind of standard protocol. And again, not saying never to use a centered photo or to use a photo that's on its own line with no word wrap, but generally it needs to be, your photos need to be front and center in a gorgeous part of your blog post to justify doing it that way. 2 links added to your posts or pages and have links open appropriately. The links you needed to have added at least 2. Most of you had done that. Open appropriately means if you are linking off of your site, so let's say you're on your site that is about baking, and you are then going to link to an outside site that maybe to buy some baking equipment that you talked about in your blog post. When you are linking from your internal page to an external website, you want to make sure that when you add that link that you are clicking that little box when you're adding your photo that says open page in a new window, and that will make sure that your blog page stays open. You're not going to open that external site on top of your site. So then if someone decides to exit out of that external site, it closes down your blog too. There were some of you that had done that. You had just simply added that link, had not said open in a new window, and consequently when I X'd out of your external site that you sent me to, guess what? Bingo, your site was completely gone as well. That's something very important to keep in mind. If you're linking internally, you don't need to do that, but externally, absolutely. The other thing I was looking for in your links is to make sure that you're using hyperlinks. So as you're going in and you are adding a link to your pages, you should be picking something. So example, if you want to add a link sending someone to the official Park Service website for Glacier National Park, you might want to say, see Glacier National Park, and you would highlight Glacier National Park and add your hyperlink to that Glacier National Park page of the National Park Service right there. So you're going to be linking from the words Glacier National Park, which is going to help you with the ranking of your site, because they're going, oh, you're linking about mountain biking in different places. Here you're linking to Glacier National Park. If you're simply linking to saying, click here for a website about Glacier National Park, and you're linking from click here isn't going to help you with your ranking at all. So always try to pick what we called anchor text links, important words that will help you rank your website by linking to those appropriate words, not just linking to click here, or even worse, some of you, it was a handful of you, but simply had really long URLs. You'd copied a URL from a page you wanted to send people to. It was like, I'm making this up, but HTTP ://www national park /glacier park /x725/ page about going to Sun Highway / blah blah blah. And I mean, that link took up 3 lines. All you did was copy in that huge link and make it a hyperlink. That is not appropriate use of linking online. You want to definitely take that hyperlink and link it to something worthwhile that is going to help your site rank, like link it to pages that say Glacier National Park or going to the Sun Road or whatever it might be that will help you rank. Okay, so didn't lose tons of points there, but a lot of you did go from 2 point to 1, and again I just wanted you to know some of the reasons that I took off points there. Finally, this last one here is about blogs posted with the dates appropriately. A lot of you did your 2 blog posts on the same date. Real common dates for doing that were March 17th, March 18th, March 19th. If you had 2 posts put up and they both are March 17th, you lost a point there. Even if you're posting on the same date, you can manually tell WordPress, tell it that one of these posts posted 2 days later. You never want to post a string of blogs on the same day. Even if you're sitting down and doing them on the same day, manually change those dates so that they are showing up as being posted on separate days. So I did take off a point on a number of posts for that because you had both posts being posted the same date. Okay, so now going back up to these 2 main areas, what I did here was I looked at blog post 1 and blog post 2. And what I did was I put in what I thought was your keyword. Most of you did a really good job here. I had asked you specifically on your assignment, let me know what your keyword is. Notice it says keyword, not keywords. Okay, so right here, each blog post that you write, and each static page for that matter, you are going to optimize for one primary keyword. 1. That doesn't mean you can't use other keywords on your post, but you can only optimize for one well. So your keyword needs to be the main keyword that you are optimizing your first blog post for. So if your first blog post was what am I trying to say? I'm forgetting the name of what I wanted to say. Mobash skate park. Okay, let's just assume that was your keyword. The keyword would be Mobash skate park, assuming that's what it was. You could have had it be skate park in Missoula. That would have been a separate keyword though, okay? Skate park in Missoula is not the same as Mobash skate park. So if we're using Mobash skate park as a primary keyword, what I'm going to be looking for is for you using some version of Mobash skate park in each one of these areas, with the exception of, again, I meant to change this and neglected to do it. The keywords field is really totally irrelevant these days. You do not need to put anything in your all-in-one SEO keyword field, but I was looking for it. Your title tag all-in-one SEO field should have said something about Mobash skate park. Okay, Mobash skate park in Missoula could have been the keyword. If your keyword is Mobash skate park, it doesn't mean that's the only thing you can put in your title tag. You could put Mobash skate park in Missoula, Mobash skate park in Missoula, Montana, Mobash skate park in downtown Missoula. You get the idea there. But Mobash skate park, ideally, if that's your primary keyword, belongs in your title tag, and it belongs toward the front of your title tag because that's where it will get more attention from Google. You also want to use the term Mobash skate park in some variation in your all-in-one SEO page description. So it should say somewhere there, visit this page to learn about Mobash skate park in Missoula, Montana. Built in whatever the year was. The skate park is so many acres located south of Karis Park, or blah, 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 blah. You want to just go ahead and put in, again, thinking of that description as it is your classified ad. When you have your page show up in Google, your clickable link is going to be the title tag. If someone is typing in for their keyword, Mobash skate park, and they see the title tag says Mobash skate park, Karis Park, Missoula, it's going to be Mobash skate park bolded in the title tag because, aha, there's a match. In your description, you want to have information in the description of your all-in-one SEO that will tell people that land on your ranking, your listing in Google, what this page on your website is about. Your description is not a list of keywords. No, 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 no. That is never the case. Your description is, what would you do if you're putting in a little 160 character classified ad to get people to click on your page versus other pages that show up on the first page of Google, assuming you land on the first page of Google? What do you want that description to say? Again, if their keyword is Mobash Skate Park, anytime you've got Mobash Skate Park listed in the description, it's going to be bolded. And that's going to help people go, ah, there's relevancy. Let's click this page. So your description does not need to read exactly like your title. In fact, sometimes it's good to mix the words up a little. You might even want to put, if you're looking to skate in downtown Missoula, go to Mobash or Mobash Skate Park. You could put that whole thing there. But you can have those words. You need to find those words in your keyword, though, in the description somewhere. Really, really important, again, for ranking your website to do that. And people clicking through is going to be vital. So make sure you think of that description always as your classified ad, okay? We're going to skip the keywords field. I encourage you, do not put anything in the keywords field. Google doesn't look at it. For people who don't know better, they can go in and do a source code research on your keywords and say, oh, look, they put Mobash Missoula there. That must be the keyword they're trying to optimize for. Don't make it that easy for them. Just leave it blank. Your post title. That is the title at the head of your post. So here, this would be my post title. Not the same as the title tag, which is seen by Google and ends up in Google search results. This is whatever the title of your blog post is, okay? So again, going back down here, I want to see in your post title that you've used the keyword. Again, you do not need to do the same post title as the title tag. You can do them both the same. However, a lot of times I like to do them slightly different just so it doesn't look exactly the same to Google. So if my title tag was Mobash Skate Park in downtown Missoula, for example, I might want my title to be something like Skating Fun at Mobash Skate Park in Missoula. So again, it still talks about Missoula, still talks about Mobash Skate Park, but it talks about having fun. Or it might be, you know, a particular, again, I know nothing about skateboarding, but maybe there's a particular, you know, using the XYZ, a certain type of slide or maneuver or something at Mobash Skate Park. So you have a lot of latitude. But again, think about what it is you're trying to rank for, and also think about what it's going to be that's going to get people intrigued when they come across your blog post to say, yeah, this looks like fun. I want to read this post. I would tell you never, never, never use just your title tag. Or just, excuse me, just your keyword, sorry. Just your keyword in your title tag or your post title. So if your title tag is around the keyword Mobash Skate Park, do not put just Mobash Skate Park here for the title tag, and for the post title, Mobash Skate Park. That looks way too obvious for Google. But you must use your keyword in the title tag and in the post title. Title tag is most important. Post title is probably second most important. Slug is also important. And what by slug we mean is this. When you are setting up your pages, let's just click right here. I do not optimize this OSMM website. But when you are setting up your blog post, you will see what you enter in as your title automatically becomes your slug, they call it. It's the page URL for the page on your website. So what you put in here is automatically going to populate as your page slug. You can, however, when you're inside editing, I'm just going to go inside so I can show you where to do this. When you're in here, you can go in and click this edit button, and you can change this at any time. So if you have made this your page title, you can change your slug to say anything you want it to. So if you want your slug to say, again, we're going to pretend this is about Mobash Skate Park, your slug might be Mobash Skate Park. And then you click OK, and that will change your slug. Having your keyword as part of your page URL, at least at this point in time, is still something that can help you with your Google rankings. So ideally, you want your slug to contain your keyword, okay? And then going back finally over here, you want to see your keyword used in your content. So your content, again, about Mobash Skate Park, you would want to have references at a density of 1 to 2% in your content about Mobash Skate Park or skate park in Missoula, Mobash Park. Again, you can use variations in here, but I must be able to see, and Google must be able to say, oh yes, they've used Mobash several times, they've used skate park several times. This is all about skate parks and about the Mobash Skate Park in Missoula, Montana. Okay, so you see where we're going there? You have to have all of these things working for you. In some cases, I think some of you got lucky with one of your posts. The other one, it was pretty apparent you really didn't have a clue what you were doing. In some cases, some of you did very well on both, and I think you really get it. There's probably a good third to a half of the class that is still pretty confused here. And I want you to know this is not unusual at all. It is all well and good when we're doing keyword research and you're doing your first assignments and we're talking about here's where your keyword is used on the pages, and to go through the slide decks and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then when you really start implementing it, it's like, whoa, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Or I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I know some of you may have had that feeling, and that's totally okay. But another reason that I wanted you to have this feedback before our class next Tuesday, so I want you to take a look at your assignments over the weekend, and if we need to spend a little bit of time in Tuesday's class when I'm back, going through and saying, hey, if you want to volunteer and say, okay, here's my keyword, here's what my post is, can we walk through and use it as an example so I can see what it is I needed to do differently? I am more than happy to walk through a few of these and to help you out with your individual assignments if you're willing to use them up as examples in class. So that's the best way to learn, and like I said, I want you to not make the same mistakes on blog assignment number 2 as you did on this WordPress assignment. Excuse me, I meant to say on WordPress assignment number 3 as you just made on WordPress assignment 2. So that's more the reason I wanted you to have a little thinking time over the weekend. If you're there to pick up your papers today, you will be able to see where you lost some points and to think about it and ask questions on Tuesday in class. Now, right here, back up to this little 3 area, 3 points allocated to writing, presentation, and word count. I'm looking basically for 3 things there. That your writing is written well, that you don't have a bunch of typos and grammatical errors and things that are going to destroy the credibility of your website. Most of you did really well in that area, I will say. Your presentation is things like making sure your formatting is correct and not funky. You didn't have big spacing issues. Most of you, if you lost any points in this area at all, it was in one of these 2 areas, presentation and or word count. There were quite a number of you that were barely, in fact, I didn't go in and count the words, but I could tell by just having done this a lot of you I can tell are not at your 250 minimum word count limit. You must have 250 words on your important static pages and on your blog posts in order for Google to have enough information to really say, yes, this is what your website is about. If you don't give them enough, they're not going to know what you're about, and it's going to be hard for them to rank you well. You also want to make sure in presentation that you are breaking up long copy blocks. We talked about this in class, and again, at the time, I think it's one of those things you go, oh yeah. But then you don't really think about it when you're doing your actual post. Online, it's really important that you use much shorter paragraphs than you ever would when you're writing a physical paper. So just like if you go pick up a Kaiman or you pick up a Missoulian newspaper or a Missoula Independent, a lot of times in newspapers you will find almost each sentence is its own paragraph, and that's because, same thing, when you're writing in condensed spaces, if you don't have indentations, or in our case, line breaks between paragraphs fairly often, you just start seeing a sea of words that never seems to end, and there is nothing more intimidating than that to a reader. People psychologically get overwhelmed when they see line after line after line after line, one after the other, without line breaks in between. So the rule of thumb I gave you in class is to make sure that you never have paragraphs going more than about 5 to 7 lines altogether at once. So that may mean artificially breaking paragraphs a little more often than you would in the way that you were taught to write things in paragraphs when you were learning to write in elementary school, middle school, and high school. And this, you just have to keep this in mind. This is an online writing rule, and it's because if you don't break and have lots of white space in your blog posts and you have huge copy blocks, you are going to be discouraging people from reading your whole post because it just simply looks overwhelming to them. So definitely want to pay attention to that. And I would say probably a third of the class, if not more, I made comments to that effect, leave more line breaks, make your paragraph shorter. And that's what I mean. Please, please, please don't have 20 or 30 or 40 lines, God forbid, of text just rolling line after line after line after line, and quite a number of you did that. A lot of you didn't go to that extreme, but you may have had 12, 15, 20 lines in a row before you did a paragraph break. So you just need to really, really keep your eye on that, okay? So 3 points goes to the writing presentation word count, and what I'm really looking at here is this SEO stuff, because SEO is what it's all about, guys. Using your keyword effectively. This is where you should be going back to the keyword list you identified, using one of those keywords to write about for each of your blog posts, and then making sure that one keyword, I only want to see one keyword identified as your primary keyword. And whatever that keyword is, I want to see used in title tag, description, post title, slug, and content, okay? And again, we will go through in class as long as we need to make sure that you're all really getting this, because without understanding this piece, you don't have a snowball's chance in hell in ranking online. I'm going to be perfectly blunt with you. Vital that you understand this, and it is one of the more challenging things for a lot of people to grasp, which is why I want to spend a lot of time on it. Really an important takeaway from this class. Okay, so with that, I think I've pretty much covered off all of the key points I wanted to cover for today, and hope you will just take time to listen to this. If you're there with Kelly today, hopefully you will all just listen to it during class and can answer and help out each other if that's something that you're inclined to do. If not, we'll pick it up on Tuesday, and those of you that aren't there on Thursday to pick up your papers will be able to retrieve your papers on Tuesday, and then I believe your next assignment is turned around next week pretty quickly. And I just again wanted to give you a little bit more leeway to be thinking about some of these things so you could be thinking ahead about your next 2 blog posts, okay? So with that, I'm going to sign off for today. Going to go see if I can post this live, and looking very much to seeing you all in person on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everybody, and thanks.